Hey, today I am going to do a really short video talking about using functions inside of Bash scripts. So let's start by just looking at some of the facts about a function. So functions inside of the Linux shell, specifically Bash, is just a code block that is going to carry out a set of operations. You've probably seen functions, or sometimes go by the name subroutines, in other programming languages, Fortran, Python, C language. Functions are useful for executing the same basic procedure over and over again, probably with some varying input. And when written well, a function is very targeted in its purpose and is highly focused and loosely coupled. So highly focused means that it has a single-minded purpose, and loosely coupled means that it is fairly independent of the particular program to which it's being used this time. So using functions in Bash shell scripts requires two main steps. First, we declare the function and then call the function. It's again about the same as other programming languages. Here we have the basic structure or skeleton of a function. Its name followed by double parens, and then all of the algorithmic innards of the function appear within the curly braces. So let's look at a really simple example. I have a simple shell script. We can see that I have already given it execute permissions for the owner, the group, and others. How you actually want to implement the permission mask in an actual industrial purpose function is going to depend on the needs of the business. We just gave it chmod plus x and then the function name for the quick use purposes. But let's look what's in function call.sh. We have, of course, shebang bin bash, which is how we start all of the code that we want to be executable in the bash shell. Now we have the declaration of a function or subroutine named display, followed by the double parens, and then our algorithm inside of the curly braces. For simplicity purposes, this function is only going to echo some things back to the screen. So we echo we're inside the display function, and the parameter passed in is, and notice we have that special variable $1. So just as you can put things on the command line when you execute a script and call those values on the command line by $1, $2, $3, etc., same principle in the function. So I am referencing with $1 the first parameter that is being passed to this function. Here is the main body of the code, which is very short. I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to call the function named display, passing the parameter Bob. In fact, let's do a little editing here, and I will call the function 2 times and put my name in there and end. Also, you can notice that I have modified my path variable to include my home bin directory. So now I can put all my executables in my personal bin and then be anywhere on the system and call that function. And we can see we get displayed. We are inside the display function. The parameter passed in is Bob. We are inside the display function. The parameter passed in is Deborah. So again, let's look at the code. Whoop, let's cat. And helps if I remember what directory I'm in. Yes. And see that this is merely the declaration of the function. This is the main body of my code. I call the display function 2 times, so that code gets reused. Now, what happens if I want to have more than one thing passed to the function? Well, let's give that a go. So this and so what do you expect to happen? You expect the function to be called 2 times, similar to what happened last time, but this time we're passing in 2 values. Let's look at the function. We're passing in 2 values, and we're referencing those inside the function. So let's run it, and we can see that we are inside the display function. The parameter passed in is Bob. The second is Carol. And we are inside the function display function again. The parameter passed in is Deborah. The second is David. Let's just look at the code again so that you can see what happened during execution and the code that created that output. It's really just fairly straightforward. Hope this helps.